Everyone, greetings from Poet's Choice. Today is the festival of Dasera over here. It's a very auspicious day, and on this occasion, we have our poet tonight, Allyson Casstevens. We look forward to having a great event ahead, and we'll just wait for our poet to come and just invite her on the show. Oh, hi. Namaste from India. We'll begin the show with getting some background about you if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah. My name is Allyson Casstevens, and I like to write poetry, fiction. I write short stories, and I'm glad to be on here today.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I live in North Carolina, USA, with my husband, my 3 girls, my 3 daughters, and our pet dog, and we have 4 pet guinea pigs.
Wow, I was about to ask you that. 4 pet guinea pigs. That's something unusual.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a little different. We were just going to get 1, but we ended up with 4.
so how is that? What's so unique about guinea pigs? Why guinea pigs? I mean, is there any reason behind that?
It's just something a little different. My daughters, I have 3 daughters, and so we kind of got 1 for each of them, plus 1.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's fun. They love animals, so yeah.
Okay. So tell me, Alison, something maybe let's begin with what's your journey been like through writing when you started writing till date? How has it been since you started writing when you were 9 years old and it's been a long journey?
Yeah, it really has. I started writing when I was 9, and right around that time, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And
I'm sorry, I did not get that. I'm sorry, I did not get the last bit.
I was diagnosed with epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's been writing has been kind of a release for me. You know, I've gone through a lot of emotions. You know, it's been really difficult because it's something I still struggle with today, and I think writing really helps me. And also, I was bullied in high school, and
I can
so
relate with.
I think that I think writing really helps. It's been a big help to me. Kind of a, like I said, kind of a release, you know. So, yeah.
I understand. I have known people with epilepsy and I do relate with that. And I can relate with it. Trust me, I relate with it more than who you can imagine with. I mean, what epilepsy does is completely known to me.
Yeah, I was in and out of the hospital throughout my younger years, trying all different kinds of medication, and it was just really just exhausting and very frustrating, to say the least. And I'm still on medication today, and they're still not completely controlled, but I just try to make the best of it, you know. Some days are worse than others, but writing
I
is.
hope that it's not that frequent. It would not be very frequent. It is occasional, or is it really, really? I'm just curious.
Um, I don't have them every day, and usually I'll feel one coming on. I have an aura before I have it, so usually, and they're not the horrible kind where you fall down and all that. I just kind of space out for a minute, but yeah, like I said, I just try to make the best of it. I have good days and bad days, so yeah.
I understand. Trust me, I relate with it completely. Okay, so getting on, let's begin with your first book, which you got published in. How about talking about close friends and relatives? So, in
Yes.
close friends and relatives, I read through your poem again so that I'm refreshed about. I like, the simplicity that you have in your poem is really striking, and it communicates a lot there, and that is what makes poetry really easy to understand generally, and that is what there is brilliance in this simplicity. That's how you can put it, simply brilliant.
Thank you.
We like to hear. You said that there was something behind how you got across writing the poem. So if you'd like to share that before you recite a few words, that will be nice.
Yeah, I lost my grandfather last December. He got sick with COVID and ended up with COVID pneumonia, and he passed away the day before Christmas Eve. And
Oh,
so it was a very, very difficult time for me and my grandmother, her especially, and my family as well. And it still is. It's still been really hard. But one day I was thinking about him and how he was a great man. How he really was my hero. And the words just kind of started flowing. And so I sat down and I wrote, I just started writing, and then the words just kind of came to me, and I ended up with that poem.
So, the poems that come out of you when you are in grief or in a bad state, that is the most emotional and the most um, understandable, which the poem really gets across because it's pouring out of your heart. It jumps right into the other person's heart when they read the poem. That's been my experience,
Yeah.
and that's why the poem will really get across. And believe me, the poem in itself, just your poem itself, really adds a great deal of value to the book, and I'm saying that.
I was so pleased that I could write that for him. I wrote it for him. With him in mind, and almost like a tribute. So he's very much missed, but our family, we take comfort in knowing that we'll see him again one day, and that's comforting.
May his soul rest in peace. Now, can we hear the poem? How about reciting it?
Yes, I'll go ahead and read it if that works for you.
Of course, yes. Please.
To my hero in heaven, when you were here, we held your hand, and when you left so unexpectedly, we didn't understand. We cried and cried so many tears. You were the one who led our family all these years. You were the person we looked up to every day. We miss you so much and wish you hadn't gone away. Heaven needed a hero. That hero was you. So we'll hold you in our hearts until we see you one day soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that poem was really touching. I shared it with my family and some of my close friends, and it was very moving, for them and me as well.
Like I said, those lines are so simple and it really gets across heart to heart. I believe so. And if whether it's your friend or someone who doesn't know you, it's going to get across to that person.
Yeah.
Now, I'll just like to share a few things about the close friends and relatives that I looked up. The book has contributions from these countries, and the readers and writers from these countries are having the book. That's Canada, United Kingdom, USA, Australia, India, Austria, Ireland, and Bulgaria. That's in itself. And also, there are two poets from North Carolina itself, from your state. You're from rural Hall, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Where I'm from?
Yeah, the city is Rural Hall, right?
Yes, Rural Hall. Yes.
Rural. Oh, okay.
Rural Hall. Yeah.
Okay, I am sorry about the pronunciation.
No, it's fine. Everybody does it because it's just a weird name for a town.
So we have Elsa Bonstein. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that name again wrong. Elsa Bonstein from Oceanside Isle in NC, and Diana Brantley from Zirconia. These are two poets we have who are from NC, in close friends and relatives. And tell me, Allyson, anything else about your journey? As in, how do you spend your days, and what's it like, except writing poetry?
I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I do pretty much normal things stay-at-home moms do. I cook and I clean, and I take care of my kids. Well, my two oldest, they're in school, so and then my youngest, she's in preschool till lunchtime. So I get a little bit of free time in the mornings for myself. I try to do a little bit of writing while I have some free time. And like I said, I've been writing for over 20 years, and it's just been an amazing journey, really. I actually published a children's book last year in November, and it's called The Monkey Who Ate Meatballs. And I actually have it right here.
Do share it. The cover. Yes. Whoa, that looks interesting. So you'll get this on Amazon, or where can we get it from?
Well, I kind of got the idea from, I loved monkeys when I was younger. I loved animals in general, but monkeys were my favorite. And I kind of wrote it with that in mind, I got thinking about, what I liked as a child, and then I got the idea for the monkey, to be the main character, and it's really an adorable book. It's about a monkey who he lives in a zoo, and he's tired of living in the zoo, and so he escapes, and he goes out on the town, and he goes
Okay.
exploring, and he's hungry, so he stops in a restaurant, and he has some spaghetti and meatballs, and then he meets a new friend, and it's really a cute book. There's some more of the illustrations.
Oh, you have the graphics, color graphics in the book. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
Mm.
and actually in the it's a series, so I'm actually in the process of publishing the second book.
Oh,
And
then why don't you approach us for that? We have another brand called Free Spirit, which is into publishing short stories, and we have manuscript submissions open. I'm sure you can look it up, and we'll be
yeah,
happy to look into the. Unless you have a contract with your present publisher to do the entire series, that may be the case. Uh,
yeah. I actually have an idea for the next book. I plan for there to be 3 books in total for the children's series, and so yeah, I could look that up. That sounds
that will be
great.
nice. It will be really nice.
That sounds great.
So, getting on, you are also published with us in a book called A Fleeting Visitor. This is the book, it's A Fleeting
Yes.
Visitor. And we again would like to say that this poem, that's titled The Light, it's truly it gives an illuminating perspective to our theme, A Fleeting Visitor. It's like you're referring to a fleeting visitor as the Almighty, you can say nature, God, universe, name it whatever you like, but that's the whole idea. I believe that's what you're. So, before you share with us about the journey, I again like to add here that we have more than 8 countries in this book, including Philippines and Netherlands, Italy, unlike other new countries that are there in this book. So, firstly, let's hear from you again what the journey of writing this particular poem was, because I'm sure there's a story. This poem itself reflects that there's a history behind it.
There
That's the
is.
most interesting part. I'm sure to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, most of what I write um, from experience, like things that have happened in my life. I write about those things. And this particular poem, um, I I went through a very dark time in my life. Um, like I told you before, I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 9 years old, and that was a very difficult thing to go through. And I got to a point in my life where I just basically lost the will to live, you know. And I know that sounds terrible, but I was struggling so much, and I was being bullied, you know, and this was in high school. I was being bullied in high school, and it was so tough. And it was in one of my darkest moments. It's I got on my knees and I said, God, I said, you're gonna have to help me. You know, I can't do this by myself. And I felt him speaking to me, saying, you know, Allyson, you're here for a purpose. You know, you're here for a reason, and you're so blessed. You know, you're so blessed. You know, you're strong and you're brave, and you're going to make it through this. And the Lord picked me up, and He brought me through the darkness. He brought me up, and that's what inspired me to write that particular poem. So,
epilepsy is a gift. It isn't a curse, or it's not something really to feel bad about. It's really a gift. If you start looking at it like that, it will do wonders. It does wonders to those I know. It's a big gift. It's a blessing. You can say that.
thank you for that.
So, with that, I guess let's hear you recite the poem.
Sure, yeah. The light. I was in a dark place, shadowed by fear and pain. I felt that there was nothing in my life that I had left to gain. My wings were broken and twisted. I was worthless, scared, and alone. Then one day I looked up to see a beautiful light shining down upon me. The light was filled with mercy, hope, and love. It was brilliant, glowing, and descended from above. The light reached forth its glimmering rays, destroying my lonely, pain-filled days. It pulled me out of the darkness, took my hand and said, "Daughter, it's going to be okay."
Wonderful. Wonderful. It's about just exactly how you said. It's about reaching the brink of giving up, and then you see all the hope in the world. It's as if the world is embracing you, and you just undefeatable. You can put it that way. You're just undefeatable. That's what the poem is actually reflecting, as I see it.
Yeah, it was really great to write that one. It brought back a lot of memories, of that dark time in my life, but it also made me feel. It reminded me how much I had overcome, in my life, and that was really great to write that. I really enjoyed writing that one. So I believe sometimes that writing, we can write about bad experiences in our life, things that have gone wrong, the struggles we've had. And I think it also, like I said, reminds us, of who brought us through that dark time, who was there for us, who lifted us up, and just basically just what you've come through, and it makes you feel good, to put that down on paper and express your thoughts. And with my writing, I hope to, I hope that I love sharing my writing, and so I'm hoping that it'll help somebody, that's going through a rough time or a dark time in their life, or even somebody like me who has a chronic illness. You can make that person feel like you don't need to give up. You need to keep going. It's going to be okay. And in the end, it may not always be what we hoped for or expected it to be, but it's, we're going to make it through, and you'll be just fine. So.
It's like you are like what we call a messiah, an idol for those people out there as a representative for those people out there who face this kind of circumstances with those who have epilepsy, those people will really look up to you and see, wow, we can do much better than what we are. We just don't need to hold ourselves back or down because of any illness or any chronic disease that we have in ourselves, and just let go of that behind us and move ahead with the whole world open to us, which otherwise others really give in very soon, because you have to realize that the illnesses bring in the pump and the energy to do much better than what
Yeah.
others are actually doing. That's what I'd like to say to that. And now moving on, I'd just like to make a small pre-launch announcement for everybody. That is, Allyson Casstevens is getting published with us with her anthology, which is called Whispers in the Wind. The name itself is very interesting. It's very catchy. So
Yeah,
I,
I'm
I
excited for that.
I'd request you to share maybe a little bit about what the book will be like or is about, so that the people get some glimpse into the book which is going to come out.
The book, it's filled with what I like to call light poetry, and uh, has some dark poetry mixed in as well. Um, like I said before, a lot of the times what I write comes from experiences in my life, and I just kind of put it into words. And I'm hoping that people that look at this book or purchase this book, that the writing will inspire them, that, that they'll, if they're going through something tough, that it'll pull them through it. If you'd like me to, I can actually read maybe one or two poems out of the book. I have some right here if you'd like for me to do that.
Most welcome, you can do that. Absolutely. That'll be good. Please do. In the meantime, I'd like to thank everybody who's joined us tonight, and thank you for listening us out and having dedicating your valuable time to this show.
Okay, I'll read a couple short ones.
Sure.
The first one is titled Golden, and it's the rising sun spills its golden rays through my bedroom window, and I wonder what it must be like to light up the world. And that one I was actually sitting on my bed looking at the sun coming through my bedroom window. So, yeah. So that's what that one comes from. And I'll read one more. It's titled Shadows. Shimmering shadows haunt my dreams as I lie lost in a sea of spiderwebs, my soul aching for just one peaceful night. And that one is kind of a dark poem. A lot of the times due to my epilepsy, I'll have trouble sleeping at night. And so a lot of the times I don't have insomnia or anything, but I'll just lay awake, I have a hard time sleeping, and that's what that one comes from. Kind of just wishing for a peaceful sleep.
Okay. Maybe it's you just feel anxiety, a lot of anxiety that you don't feel sleep. That may be the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to know at this point from you that do you approve of us using this video on social media and Instagram and other platforms if we like?
Okay.
We'll send you a written consent letter also, so that that's just procedural. And is there anything else that you'd like to say to the world out there about your writing, about something that you'd like to express out to them, which you've always wanted to, but you've not found the right platform to do it? This is the moment,
Yeah.
something else.
I just like to say thank you to all my followers out there and to my fellow writers. Thank you for all your support. It's really been a great journey for me, not just here on Instagram, but just, with my pen and paper, writing has been amazing. And for those out there who are dealing with something that's less than pleasant, whether it be, a headache or, being bullied or pushed around or just anything that's negative, don't let the darkness get a hold of you. I want to say that to everybody who's listening. Don't let the darkness get a hold of you. Keep pushing towards the light, because there is light. It might not be close, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. So, but thank you all for that.
Allyson, I'd like to share that I was myself bullied a lot. I had a very hard time in my life in school and my high school. But that bullying is actually been like the coal mine that got dug in, and I have been able. I also began writing when I was facing that hard time. And I'll tell you this, that bullying is not a bad thing. It is really, really a blessing in disguise. So do not hold on to that past, that it was something which was dark. It was actually something which was meant to look dark, but it was actually something really good that happened with you.
I think in a way it makes you stronger.
Exactly.
That's what I think. And now, I look back and, it almost sounds crazy, but I'm thankful that I went through that time in my life, because it made me stronger for things that I face today. It gives me strength,
So we have Alexander Dunford here. He is one of our forthcoming poets, going to be going live, I think tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And he also says here that same, I was bullied too. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for that comment.
With that, Allyson, I think we come to the end of our event. I'd like to thank everybody who attended today. And I'd like to thank Instagram, and I'd like to thank you who made this show such a wonderful event and such a
You're
wonderful. I
welcome.
really had a great time talking to you, and it was a very emotional connect which took place here, I believe, and it's going to be a long journey ahead. We'll definitely be in touch. That's for certain.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone for tuning in and hanging around to watch us with the poetry. It's been good.
Okay, with that, thank you everyone and have a great time. Namaste.